Welcome. Today, we're diving into something pretty profound, a kind of user's manual for your own mind, straight from the Bhagavad Gita. So, have you ever had this happen? I mean, one day you are on fire. You're focused, you feel amazing, you're just crushing it. And then, the very next day, you're antsy, you can't focus on anything. And maybe the day after that, you can barely drag yourself out of bed. It feels totally random, right? Well, what if it's not random at all? What if there's a hidden system running in the background? The Gita, this incredible ancient text, says that's exactly what's going on. It suggests our inner world has its own operating system, a constant dance between three core energies that literally shape every single thought and feeling we have. So here's our game plan. First, we're going to uncover this hidden code. Then we'll meet the three forces, the gunas. We'll look at how they shape our mindset, how they're constantly fighting for control, and then the big one, how we can actually rise above them and find real freedom. Okay, first things first. To get a handle on this hidden code, we have to understand the field it all plays out on. The Gita calls this Prakriti, or material nature. You can think of Prakriti as the source code for everything physical. I mean, everything, from the galaxies to our own bodies to the thoughts in our minds. And what's wild is that the Gita says this whole incredibly complex universe is built from just three basic energies, which it calls the gunas. And the metaphor the Gita uses here is just perfect. The word guna actually means rope. So the idea is that these three forces are like invisible ropes, tying our true self, our consciousness, to the wild roller coaster of the material world. So, what are these three forces that are constantly pulling the strings behind the scenes? Let's meet the culprits. All right, here they are. First, there's sattva, which is all about clarity, balance, and light. Then you've got rajas, the energetic force of passion, ambition, and action. And finally, there's tamas, the heavy energy of inertia and darkness. Literally everything you see and feel is some unique mix of these three. Okay, let's get personal. What does it actually feel like when one of these gunas takes the driver's seat? How do they color our reality? First up, sattva. Imagine a perfectly still, crystal-clear lake that lets the sunlight shine all the way to the bottom. That's sattva. It's luminous. It doesn't distort reality. It brings a natural sense of clarity and well-being. You know that feeling when you're just calm, clear-headed, and genuinely happy? That's sattva. Your mind is sharp, you just kind of know what to do, and you feel this deep sense of peace. It's like being in the zone, but in a totally calm, sustainable way. But, and this is so important, here's the subtle trap. Even sattva, the good one, is still a rope. It binds us because we get attached to that feeling of happiness, or we get a little too proud of how much we know. The second you start thinking, I need to feel that good feeling again, boom, you're caught. All right, next up is rajas, the mode of passion. The Gita says this energy is born from intense craving. This is the engine of our ambition, our desires, our nonstop, restless action. When rajas is in charge, you feel constantly driven. It's that urge to check your phone, again, hit refresh on your email, chase that next goal. It fuels incredible ambition, for sure, but it also creates that feeling of, is this it? You always feel like satisfaction is just around the next corner. And here's how rajas binds us. It gets us hooked on the doing. We become addicted to the action, to the hustle. Our identity gets all tangled up in what we accomplish. We're just trapped on a treadmill of endless effort. And last, but not least, we have tamas. The Gita says this one is born from darkness itself. It's the force that clouds our judgment, the heavy, sinking feeling of inertia and just being stuck. Oh yeah, we've all been here. When tamas is dominant, everything feels like a huge effort. It's the gravity of the sofa, pulling you in for just one more episode of a show you don't even like. Your mind feels foggy. It's where procrastination and apathy live. It's that feeling of being stuck in the mud. The binding of tamas is maybe the most straightforward. It just stops you. It traps you in inaction and confusion. It puts the brakes on any kind of progress by pretty much just shutting everything down. Okay. Now here is the absolute key to understanding why your moods shift so much. These three forces are never just sitting still. Inside you right now, they are in a constant tug-of-war for control. So, at any given moment, one guna manages to overpower the other two. Like here, you can see a moment where sattva is high and rajas and tamas are low. That's when you feel that clarity and peace. But that balance can and will shift in a heartbeat. And the effect is immediate. When sattva's winning, light and wisdom shine through. The moment rajas takes over, restlessness and cravings spike. And when tamas gets the upper hand, it's like a fog rolls in, bringing inaction and confusion. This constant battle is why our inner state feels so unpredictable. And this doesn't just affect our day, it affects our whole life. The Gita suggests that whichever guna we let dominate most often sets our entire life's trajectory. A sattvic life trends upward. A rajasic life keeps us right here in this cycle of action and reward. And a tamasic life, well, it trends downward into darker states of being. So, that's a bit intense, right? Does this mean we're just puppets? Are we doomed to be jerked around by these ropes for the rest of our lives? Well, according to the Gita, the answer is a huge, resounding no. Freedom is totally possible. And this is the million-dollar question, right? It was asked thousands of years ago by the warrior Arjuna. He basically asks, okay, what does someone who has mastered this look like? How do they act? And how in the world do I get there? The answer describes a person who becomes an impartial witness to their own mind. They see the gunas at play, the pull of pleasure, the sting of pain, the rush of success, but they aren't thrown off balance by it. They stay centered, just watching the dance without getting swept away. Now, I know this state can sound almost superhuman, but the Gita actually lays out a really practical path to get there. So let's get into our final section, how to become the master of your own mind. It boils down to 3 key steps. Step 1, and this is the game changer, is to just witness. You learn to see the gunas for what they are. So instead of thinking, oh, I'm so lazy, you just observe, tamas is strong right now. That little separation is everything. Step 2 is to channel your energy into devoted, focused action, serving something bigger than yourself. This literally purifies the mind. And step 3, that's freedom. It's the natural result of the first 2 steps. And the ultimate promise here is profound. We're not just talking about having more good days. The goal is total liberation from what causes us to suffer in the first place and to access a state of real, lasting, unshakable joy. So I want to leave you with this to think about. Just for a second, check in with yourself. Which guna feels like it's in the driver's seat for you today? And more importantly, what's just one tiny step you can take? Not to fight it, but just to gently nudge yourself back toward a little more balance.